Welcome to Chapter 2 of this FE12 H4 Reverse Recruitment LTC. As discussed in the previous video, our primary goal is to continue feeding Elice a lot of experience to get her close to promotion. In this map, there are 5 Draco Knights that give very good experience because they're promoted enemies. We will let Elice kill 3 of them, after which she will be inches away from level 10. To do that, we sold the small bullion obtained in Chapter 1 and buy the second energy drop and second angelic robe for Elice. Together with the boosters given to her in Chapter 1, these let her reach the kill and survival benchmarks here. In fact, she will not need more boosters for a while. I used the rainbow potion on Elice, Chris, and Medea, who do most of the combat. Medea is reclassed to Draco Knight for better mobility over the forest house. With Rainbow Potion, she can just about run around KO the 2 Silverlands Dracos on the 2 sides of this map, which is nice. As for the remaining units, Lena and Michaelis are deployed without surprise. Ymir and Wolf will together kill a hunter and do nothing otherwise. Nagy, Nina, and Maria are benched here and probably forever. In turn 1, Elice visits the village and recruits Roshia, who replaces Cord. Roshia moves upwards to enter the range of a hunter on the right side. Cavalier Chris also moves up and right to be next to Roshia. Then the rest of the team primarily moves up but stays out of enemy range. I should point out that this turn 1 positioning is kind of subtle. What I want to achieve is that in enemy phase, the right hunter as well as the 3 soldiers move to the right side. This way they can be killed by Michaelis and Chris in turn 2. But I also want the left hunter to move straight down. For a lot of other positionings that I tried, the left hunter would stubbornly move to the right and block the way for Chris to full move in turn 2. I guess this positioning works because the hunter's primary targets are Ymir and Lena, so moving straight down is the shortest path for him to reach them. In turn 2, Elice full moves toward the gate, Michaelis kills a hunter and Lena heals Roshia, who moves further toward the top right corner to bait a cavalier there to go right. Then Chris full moves again to be in range of the 3 soldiers. I let Chris equip a sword against their lances in order to train his sword rank. After that, Medea kills the running thief and sends the dropped lady sword to convoy. Sadgar, who replaces Katria, recruits Violent, who replaces Warren. Violent moves top left in order to bait an enemy next turn. Finally, Ymir and Wolf are barely able to kill the annoying hunter. Not very much happens in this enemy phase, except that Chris is going to get another good level up. In turn 3, Elice full moves again and equips the lady sword from convoy. With that, she has just enough damage to kill a cavalier in enemy phase. Then Chris moves to a forest tile in the middle that's just in range of the boss as well as the 2 other Dracos next to the boss. The idea is that Chris will wear them down, who will then suicide on Elice in the next enemy phase. On the left side, Medea goes to the left fort, which is in range of the leftmost Silverlands Draco. As mentioned, she would be just able to kill that Draco with Silverlands. Violent helps bait the leftmost cavalier away from Medea, while Elice will bait the rightmost one. On the right side, it's important that Roshia moves left. This will trigger the rightmost Draco to move straight down and occupy the right fort, instead of moving to the middle. Finally, Michaelis enters the range of the top right cavalier to weaken him in enemy phase. The key thing that we need to rig in this enemy phase is that crits should not crit any of the 3 dracos that attack him. As long as he doesn't crit, they will be sufficiently low in HP for Elice to kill with Lady Sword. After counterattacking the 3 dracos, Chris exactly reaches D Sword, which is useful because it enables him to wield the powerful Devil Sword. Once we get past turn 3 enemy phase, the rest of this clear is mostly smooth sailing. In turn 4, Elice continues to move forward, expecting to kill the 3 wounded dracos in enemy phase. The rightmost draco on the fort can in theory be fed to Elice as well, but Elice will need to crit him in order to kill, making it much harder to rig her 2 level ups. So instead, I'm going to give that rightmost Draco kill to Michaelis. In order to do that, I move my other units out of the range of the Dracos, but keep Michaelis in range. Here I suspend Rig because Michaelis only has 49 hit on the sword-wielding cavalier. The enemy phase goes as planned, with Elice killing 3 enemy Dracos. Elice gets 2 perfect level ups from these kills. In fact, she now sits at level 9.87, having gained 3.5 levels over 2 chapters. At this point, we can rest assured that Elice will be able to reach level 10 in the next chapter before we obtain the Master Seal. Turn 5 is straightforward as the last turn, so I won't say much. Let me mention that in this map, Pegasus Knight Elice could fly over forest tiles and move a bit faster than Cavalier Elice. But since there are 28 tiles from the village to the gate, Pack Elice would also need at least 4 turns to travel the distance. So there doesn't seem to be a way to clear the map in less than 5 turns. Meanwhile, Medea and Michaelis both level up. Michaelis came out of the prologue slightly short of level 4, but now he has reached level 6. This is definitely a good start for him. Anyways, chapter 2 is cleared in 5 turns. I'll see you next time for chapter 3, which is normally very tedious to play, but perhaps more fun this time with a lord that can fly.